Setting up for barbell hip thrusts at the gym. Barbell hip thrusts are very quickly becoming known worldwide as one of the best, if not the best, glute exercise out there. The one unfortunate scenario that most people run into when performing barbell hip thrust is getting into the exercise comfortably. First and foremost, one of my biggest recommendations if you're setting up barbell hip thrusts at your gym is to use a decline bench. A decline bench keeps you nice and low to the floor. It'll give you everything you need in order to have good support through your back as you're performing the thrust. And if you have a bench that's higher, or if you have a step riser, the higher bench can sometimes be really awkward and force you to overextend your spine. And sometimes with the step riser, they're not quite as stable, so they'll move. So I do recommend, if you have access to a decline bench, using that. Now, if you can hip thrust 135 pounds, which is a barbell plus a 45-pound plate on each side, typically it's very easy to get into the hip thrust because you can just roll that bar right on top of you. From here, I'm going to lie back onto my bench. I'm going to dig my feet in. I'm going to drive forward for my thrust, prop down, drive forward for my thrust, prop down, drive forward for my thrust, prop down. Notice how the piece of equipment that I'm using is a squat sponge in order to help protect my pelvic bone and ensure that the weight is not too much or too uncomfortable when doing the thrust. If you do not have access to a squat sponge, I definitely recommend buying one off Amazon. They're somewhere around 30 or 40 bucks, but you can also get away with using a yoga mat, where you'll roll the yoga mat up several times. You place it in between your hips and the bar, and sometimes that can provide adequate cushion. Now, if you cannot hip thrust 135 pounds yet, no problem. What most people tend to do is they'll use a preset barbell. This is not a preset barbell, but it is a 30-pound barbell. Typically, preset barbells will come with a bar, and at the end, they'll have two weights where you can lie them flat. So it would be much more like so. I'll have the preset barbell up. Let's say it's 50 pounds. I lower it nice and slowly onto my hips. I want to make sure that the squat sponge is already on the barbell. Now I have that barbell on my hips. I can get into position. I drive up, I hold, come down, drive up, little hold. When I'm done, I simply lie and I crank that barbell back up. And then I get up by using my hand and always keeping the hand on the barbell to make sure it doesn't fall back and hit you on the head. Those are your two options in terms of barbell hip thrusting. The final option would be to simply have a partner or someone at the gym lightly place that barbell on top of you.